invocation that will be given by Commissioner Gloria James, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, everyone. Dear Lord, we thank you for allowing us to meet here again tonight. We've got a job before us tonight, and you know what needs to be done, and I know you're going to lead us in the right way so that we will get it done in the fashion that will be suitable for what we need here in the city of High Springs. We thank you for allowing us to come here tonight. We thank you for all the things that you've allowed us to do today and this week and the things that you have prepared for us in the near future. We ask that you continue to bless us and continue to lead us on the right road. These things we ask in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner James.
No problem.
Ms. Parham, roll call, please.
Commissioner James?
Here.
Commissioner Evans? Not here. Commissioner Williams?
Here.
Vice Mayor Jamison?
Here.
Mayor Weller?
Here. Thank you. All right, the agenda tonight is actually, it's a workshop on presentation of the proposed 15-16 budgets, and it begins with the city commission budget. Mr. Manager?
You bet. I'll start out with a few comments. This is the 2015-2016 budget, and the budget pretty much is the same as last year's, but that's not to say that in the city, we are not going to do a whole lot of things, and mainly we're going to spend most of the grant money. We've got a number of grants. On the water side, we have an $800,000 CDB grant for the water lines over in the southeast portion of town. We have a $500,000 grant in sewer for the Camp Kalakwa, attaching them to the city. And that includes the lines and a lift station. We have the farmer's market finally will be built. We've gotten everything done on that. And most of all this will start about October, so it's going to be a very busy period doing these grants. I'll probably be in boots and blue jeans as I go, especially with the water, because the water is going to require us to cut it off at homes and talk to people and listen to some of the complaints. So that's going to take some finesse. The playgrounds, right now we have $100,000 for grants to do the 2 parks. Fox says, and we're putting in for another $50,000 to do the playground behind the church. We feel that with the $50,000 we can totally do these 3 parks, and then with the $50,000 each park, and that will last us 10, 15 years. So we can take that off. That'll be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That'll keep our recreation director busy for sure. I'm looking for a $35,000 grant for the High Spring Springs to fix it up a little bit. Swanee River likes it, and I'll ask for permission to do that, but I'm kind of including that in the grants that we're going to be doing. The only changes in personnel, one, I'm looking at putting in a on-call planner to be paid out of the fees that the developers will pay the city. And those fees are from the subdivisions and the PUDs for major construction. And the idea is that we'll only use that person when needed, paid out of those funds. So there won't be any change really in the budget, money in and money out, with a small amount we'll keep for administrative fees.
So you're still going to use Florida Regional Planning, and then this person will be like on all
for big projects.
On needs. So you're still going to use them. And then,
I am for rezoning and smaller items that need to be. I'll use them. Okay. The issue about the land use plan and the problems with it. As people bring it up, then we'll look at it section to section, but to try to take that whole massive document and go through it and look at the ambiguities in that is a monumental and very expensive proposition. So if we do it as we use it and find problems, then we'll bring it to the commission to do some changes. But that's like a $50,000 project, and we really don't have that kind of money when we're really looking for a fourth fireman. And so the fourth fireman is the only other person we're looking to put in the fourth fireman on the shift, and that is a priority, and we're looking at trying to finesse all the budget so we can get that. And the priority of the budget is to provide safety and welfare for the public as well as quality of life. And starting with the commission budget.
Mr. Manager, before you go on, Jenny, can that be made bigger?
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, that's good.
All right. What we've done is, did that get small? Maybe it's me.
No, so that's 150%. We went a little bit smaller. There, how about that?
That's
Did everybody
good.
see that?
I can't, I don't know about the manager.
Here's my hard copy.
No,
He's
I
got a
have
hard
it right
copy.
here. I have a hard copy. Okay, I just wonder. All right. What we've really done is I know we talked about raising the salaries of the commission by $1,000 a month, and we looked at it. We looked at all the priorities in that, and so the best alternative now is to raise it to $700 and $750.
I think that's a wise decision.
Thank you.
I don't have a problem with
And then
that.
incrementally, if you can do it, I think that's the right
Right.
choice.
Because it all falls back on that fourth fireman,
Oh,
everything.
I mean, that adds, from what I can see, that adds $12,000.
That's right.
Basically,
12 here,
yeah.
12 there, and we'll have enough, especially if the county participates.
Okay.
So the total amount of 33,000, last year it's 45,000, and some of it has to do with your training. You know, I think it's very important to go to those conferences. I know some other communities debate it, but the reason you get to see other commissioners, and you can see their problems, and you can talk to them about yours. I mean, it's not often do we get to see other commissioners in a setting that you can actually talk to them.
But
So
there's
I think
also
it's-
very good classes there, too, on
and good
those.
classes. And I know Byron and we enjoyed the grilled cheese sandwiches and soup for the banquet.
Oh, yeah.
For the banquet. Yeah, it was kind of a different one. Yeah, I know. Desserts were good, but the dinner was a little different.
Are there any questions on the city commission budget?
Okay.
No.
City manager. It stays pretty much the same. Again, I'm not looking for any raises in salary. Some of that has to do with Linda. It's also in my budget.
Salaries.
Oh, yeah,
2%.
10% for everyone across.
2% across.
All the salaries that we see here have the 2% built.
Yes,
Okay.
and that was a deal. They would get the 2%.
Right.
I still have not talked to the unions.
Mhm. I mean, that can
Till
change
I
based
do
upon
that,
negotiation. That
yeah.
can change based upon negotiations, but of course, that has to be approved by the commission.
That is correct. And we have the items that we need to talk about to them. We're asking for some stuff.
I do have, and I don't know if it's in here or somewhere else, but the training we had talked about for customer service and for supervisory training, where is that going to be placed in the budget?
It will probably be under me. That would probably be the best place to do so.
Because I don't see that in here.
I'll add that.
training?
Training, yeah, for customer service.
And supervisory training.
Okay.
And we'll find that 6,000.
Right, let's see, operating expenses, looks like it's gone up a little bit, a tiny bit.
You're on what budget?
You're a city manager?
City manager,
Yeah.
okay.
It's in the office supplies.
Yeah.
Office supplies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's because Jenny usually spends it.
Okay.
She has her own budget.
Linda, yeah, I know, she spends mine too.
Is there,
But yeah,
What is,
any questions by the commissioners?
the only thing I see on this, the youth council, which I agree, what do you anticipate? I mean, is that just, I mean, a shot in the dark a little bit, just figuring you may need,
It is, the reason for that is for the pizzas and that.
Yeah.
If
I
we
got
can
it.
get it going.
okay, and that's fine.
We've had a real
And-
difficulty getting that going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe we really have to go over there and do a pitch for
That's
it.
fine, I just,
At the
School.
high school.
okay,
And because, they do make a difference. I mean, they have in other towns. They're the ones who tell us what the kids really want.
Mhm.
You know? And otherwise, they're not here. I mean, we see a lot of seniors and that.
Mhm. There he is.
And- yeah,
Note that Commissioner Evans has just shown up.
right. But, yeah, to get the youth, I think it's important to have that project in there. It just, I know kids are very busy and they have programs and they're doing stuff. I think we can get enough, we're talking about the youth program. Council.
The youth council, under the city manager's budget.
And it just pays for pizzas.
next,
Financial services?
This is
Got it.
counting?
Okay. Financial services went from 158,000 to 165. A lot of that's the 2%. Retirement and everything that went up. Then going over to the next page. Professional services is not. It's 3,100, it's not in this budget. The auditor's at 18 where it was 22,000.
Yeah.
And when you get down to the bottom line, it's 189,000 from last year to 191,000.
All right.
A minor increase.
Your operating expenses went down, I guess mainly because your professional services, the exams are going to be somewhere else, or that you don't need them?
The reason I didn't budget that, because that really is, that's really for getting somebody brought in, and I'm not sure why it
That's
was
a personnel
3,100.
HR thing.
Then, right, and if you were to need that, then you wouldn't have the salary piece. So if you don't have the person and you're contracting it out, then you have the wages. So they kind of offset each other. Do you follow me?
No?
So the professional services employee exams,
Yes?
that's for new employees.
Correct.
So if you have a new employee, chances are you don't have your old employee. So you have no salary there.
So if you have salary savings, is
You
what
have
you're
salary
saying.
savings, so then, I don't foresee it happening. But if you have,
Mhm.
you would use your salary savings to pay for the new employee. I'm the only one, for whatever reason, I was the only one that had it in the department, so I took it out.
Now, it would seem to me that if we were going to have that, it would be under the
Well,
city
it used
clerk's
to be
office
under
who handles
each-
HR.
It used to be under each department.
Right.
But I was the only one that that had money this last year, so I was like,
Okay.
I didn't see me needing it if it's needed somewhere else.
Well, I don't know that I agree with you that that's the way it should be handled. I think it should be showing as a line item and what we expend on employee exams, whether, as far as whether it goes in whatever exam, whatever department it goes in, is, you know.
It would be charged to that.
Okay,
So if that person, if somebody left, whatever department, it would show in that line item. It just doesn't have a budget. And then when we do the budget amendment, we would just move money from the salary savings to that line. But you always charge your expenses to the lines that they should be in.
okay, all right.
City clerk?
Let me ask you a question on that one,
Yes,
just to
Commissioner.
follow up. Have you used that, did you use that at all? I mean,
You showed
to the degree?
3,000.
I mean, but I'm just saying, so,
You mean the 3,100?
Mm-hmm.
We used it last year. I guess that was for the hiring of myself.
This is for physicals and that type of thing, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the physical, you have to get the,
And well, what if you have to send an employee in for, that's not a new hire, that's for some reason, that has to be sent in for a physical, a drug test or
that's
something?
not, a drug test is only like $50.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, okay.
But we wouldn't pay for somebody to go have a physical. That would be like through their insurance.
Mm-mm.
No, she's saying,
Like, if someone, whether it's pre-employment or whether it's for some reason someone you believe needs to go and have an exam for some reason. Okay.
It would probably be workers' comp, or it would be their insurance.
No,
no,
No?
you got DOT where you got random drug
Oh, yeah.
testing and you'll get it. So who pays for that random drug
it
test?
would be, I have to verify that, but I believe that's in the,
Yeah, I think it would.
where the streets and all that are.
Yeah, right.
It's under their professional services, but each department.
Okay,
all right,
Same
Okay.
thing with the fire and police.
Okay.
They're the
Okay.
general ones that need it.
okay.
okay.
You ready for the next?
Mhm.
Next one
I think so.
is city clerk. She has gone from 127,000 to 130,000,
That's basically salaries.
and that's salaries. That accounts for the 2% increase. And then they have increased.
The only thing I increased was the legal advertising and operating expenses.
Right. We have 14,200 for machinery. I think they're gonna buy some computers and.
No,
It's up on the screen. Next page.
It's the signs and so forth.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the sign, that's right. Yeah, the sign, City Hall sign.
Do you have your pictures of the sign you're looking for?
Right.
It's pretty. I think it's very cool. Can you see it? If you look,
Yeah.
let me one of them.
I think you have a whole bunch of them there, don't you?
You can't really see on that one, but this is what I was proposing, and it's electronic, so, the one we have needs to be replaced or repaired or something, and it's in a bad location where the employee has to crawl over the fence to get to it, and it's dangerous. So I was proposing this one that you could just do it from your computer and change it, if you have a boil water notice, whatever, any kind of parade or something we could put on there, just like that. I could do it from home on my computer or whatever and change it. But it would look much better than that. So when you go out tonight, you go outside the door, take a look at this.
Yeah, because, and I guess one of the things you're looking at, it's gonna have a brick.
Well,
thing.
that was just my idea, that I could bring in several suggestions to show the commission, and you could
Right.
pick out the one that you thought matched better with City Hall. We could change the brick to even have, to match the exterior of City Hall.
But is that, the 10,000 is just for the sign and not for any,
We may have to, it may be just for this, and we may have to do this, or like subcontract it out of something else, or something. I'm not
Okay.
sure yet, I haven't priced particular sign. I got a ballpark
Oh.
estimate from a sign company
Okay.
for one that was similar to the one that was a Larian Bank,
Mm-hmm,
and it was a little over 10,000.
okay.
You don't have a government contract to buy it?
We could, but I don't know, but you'd have to build this one. I mean, you could buy this, we'd have to get an electrician to
All right,
wire
wire
it. But that was just what I would like to see if we could do it this year.
Okay. And in your, a lobby bulletin board, what,
Yes, what we have now is just a bulletin board downstairs. I can post an agenda, go downstairs the next day, it's gone, somebody's taken it
Yeah.
down.
you're locking like one or covered? Okay,
Locking one
yes,
for public notices.
okay,
And
That's good.
Because I have to take down yard sales and all that kind of stuff now. with
Right.
it.
I think we were talking when I saw this one, I know the school board out in the hallway has two like 6x8,
Right,
and it's glass which locks.
It locks.
So they do all their public notices up there and it's done. I think that would be,
It's much better.
You
We
could go
go
take
to
the one off,
chamber.
one of the ones off of the
this weekend I'll
chamber
take care.
office that's just been.
That's what I just said.
It's a very nice one made by someone I know.
Just what I just said.
well, if it goes missing,
I've got a pickup truck. You wanna head over there after the meeting?
Or we could take it from the school board.
Even better.
You have a badge maker?
yes, that's part of the HR side of the city clerk's office. That is for name badges for employees and so forth
Mhm.
that we need, that we don't have. The last time I made badges, I actually cut the pictures out and glued them to the thing and laminated them, so it's,
Okay.
we need one of those.
Do we,
Yes, Commissioner Evans.
for $3,000, I mean, is it something you could just contract out and save the money, or, I mean, how many badges are we talking?
Well, you could, we had them made by the city of Alachua the last time, and, cause they have their own.
Mhm.
And we may can get one that's cheaper than that. That was just your higher end one that we priced.
It also, feeds into the payroll system and to the, eventually what we wanna do is swipe, you would use your swipe, don't come into the building, and it would swipe your time, so you would not, it records everything, so they are a little bit more, but then
Okay,
it
so it's not
actually feeds.
just not a little
Not just-
No,
badge.
no,
or-
then it'll
okay.
eventually feed into payroll and all that, so everything will be electronic, and you don't have to enter your time because it's already entered.
But it has a magnetic strip on it
Okay.
that's required for that, for access.
Okay.
Okay.
One question I have is, we had talked about, I had at least suggested that we get new microphones and a better system for getting this information when you're trying to record stuff, because a lot of times the video, for some reason, doesn't take.
Yes, ma'am. I've checked into the microphones and everything for this year, and I have enough funds left out of this year's budget to upgrade those.
Okay.
There may be enough between mine and the commission's operating to maybe upgrade the video portion of it,
Okay.
to a little better video.
I'm not so concerned about a better video as I am that several times we end up not having a video for some reason, and I don't know if it's the type of equipment we have, it's not easily turned on, or there's not enough software, I mean, not the right software, or what it is. It's not the cameras that I'm thinking of that we
No.
need, you know.
No, we had a couple issues with, some things, and then a couple times it was my fault. But other than that, it's been working.
I just didn't know if there was an easier way of going about it, that's all.
I can look into it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody, any questions, any issues on that? All right.
Back to finance. This is the financial services, that's the, giving license plates and that, and billing, and this basically pays for itself because the state pays us
About 70,000 a year.
70,000.
The major change on that one is just, we have the new system, and one of the things that we were asked to do was look at the full page bills to mail out, and they are more expensive postage-wise.
Sure.
But we do save money on the paper, because the cards, actually, they're gonna be not as much more, only like, instead of being like 5,000 more, I think they're like 2,000 more, with postage, but we're gonna save on the paper.
Okay.
But we will have a full page, but we will have to buy envelopes, because I think,
Mhm.
that was one
Sure.
of the requests. But you will now be able to have graphs on your bills and messages and all of that. So that's kind of where the operating went up so much.
Okay, one of the things, and I didn't put it on on the wish list or anything, because it's really just a question, and that is, with going to this method of sending out the bills, have you looked at a folding and stuffing machine? Because obviously you're gonna have to have employees sit there and do that.
No, we have not. I have seen them, I mean, I've used them in my prior positions, and they run about 2,000. I believe that if we need to get one, I can find it within my budget, within
Okay.
this budget.
Okay.
So thank you for that.
You bet. The ladies are very busy, but there are periods of time when they would be able to do that, so we'll see.
Okay. Any questions on the finance?
That, yeah, the total is
licensing?
134,000, of which the state pays us 70,000, and the rest, of course, comes out of the utility, because you have to have people that do that. I know that the credit card, being able to use that is become very popular. And I've gotten many comments that people are happy with the department after that.
Okay.
Parks, recreation.
Oh, before we go to that question about on the credit card, I think I mentioned it to you before, the finance director. Can a person go bank to bank at this point?
No.
No. What does that take?
When you're saying bank to bank, you're saying, from your bank, right? It's gonna take, once we get upgraded on our new system, probably not this year, because I think it wasn't added, it was an added module where you
Oh.
could actually go in, search, get your history, do all kinds of things.
Mhm.
Check your work orders, check all your information. I don't see that happening this next fiscal year, but the following one.
Okay.
And then, yes, it'll be instant like that, right to your account, we won't even have to post it.
Okay.
You're talking about automatic withdrawal?
Basically, yeah, you just go in and tell your bank, send it to our bank, yeah.
Recreation? It'll be an exciting year with grants coming in, looking to do that third grant. The one item on the bathrooms for the daycare center, want to put that into facilities, because it truly is a facility, it's a building issue rather than a recreation issue. So we'll put some of the money into the playground out there at the daycare center. But then in facilities, we'll look at the bathrooms. The bathrooms are in bad shape.
Right. Under contractual services, you didn't have anything before under contractual services, and now you have 3,000. What is that for?
It's for the grant, 1,500 to write it for grant.
It's what it costs us to write the grant?
Yes, it costs, we're gonna actually do the administration ourselves, but we still have to pay for them writing it.
Okay.
Right.
And the 140,000, that's improvements other than buildings, that's the grant money?
Yes.
100,000 of it is.
Mhm.
And 40,000 is what?
Is our money. Well, see, we have to bring the money into our budget to be able to expend it.
Right, I understand the 100, I'm talking about the 40,000.
40,000 is money that we were going to put into park.
Oh, I see,
And so
okay,
we just added
right.
And
to
carried
it.
over from last year,
And-
this year.
Carry over
Okay.
in last year.
Okay,
And a lot of that carryover had to do with the lighting, is we finished paying off the bond, and so now he's got that money to be able to put into the playground. and I'll be honest with you, our playgrounds are really well used. And I think when we put in new ones, what I wanna keep, of course, is that cover that's over that one playground. It has a few rips, but it's still in a very, very good shape. We already have, and I didn't even talk to Robert, I have a Boy Scout group that they're getting ready to become Eagle Scouts, and they have to have a major project. And I would like them to put the border around the playground, and then we have the mulch already, so part of it we already have.
Just
Number
no
three.
blue mulch,
No,
Mr.
it's
Manager.
red. I know, I relented and we bought red. So it's been waiting for this project for a while, but it's here now.
Commissioner Jameson, you have a
Just
question?
real quick, and I know this is just, Jennifer, this would just be an accounting thing. Obviously, when you put that 140,000 into the 100,000, it really, really makes it look distorted.
Correct.
The 100,000 will show up in revenue
Yes.
to offset.
When we get to that, you'll see there'll be,
Okay.
Federal grants and there's
I mean,
$100,000.
if you don't do that and you look at this number, you're.
Right.
Correct.
So I
Oh,
just wanna
yeah.
make sure that's clarified, okay.
And I can add a note to it, actually, I will, when I,
I just think it's
it's
important
the
if
final,
somebody,
and I'll make a note that 100,000 of that's coming from FERDAP grants. So
That would be good.
Anybody looking at that.
And
Yeah.
see revenue stream or something like that.
Yes.
I just think otherwise it's,
And we talk, it may well be that we put 150. I'll have Robert talk to Fox again, but if it appears that we can really get that grant this year, which
Good.
we're doing pretty good.
Okay.
We'll put the other 50 in here, so we'll even show more. But we don't spend it till we get it.
Right. Next is what, Public Works Civic
Yeah.
Center?
Yeah, the Civic Center,
No change on that I see.
there is no change. We've already put chairs, tables, if we need. And it's an older facility. We'll take a look at, maybe the kitchen area a little bit.
Because it was, the building itself, the roof was redone and the
Mhm.
bathrooms were redone, so I
You're
mean,
lucky
it's
you
in,
had a
that's all,
grant to do
and it looks
that.
like it's in pretty good shape for that
Right.
part of it, the kitchen maybe, but not the kitchen, but the rest of it
Mhm.
is in good shape,
You know,
I
we
think.
put new chairs and tables, and we've heard very little from the group this year, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And then there's CRA, that is really your organization, you have the CRA board.
And I just have, one change on it says the 121 is under interest earnings. It
Mhm.
really should be under appropriation of prior year funds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about
I
that.
wanna invest in that.
You wanna get that rate of
I
return?
wanna get in that rate, yes.
One of the things I do want to add is the appropriation of prior year funds could change. It probably will change based on when the farmer's market goes in, because they have dedicated funds, the CRA has dedicated dollars as part of our match for the farmer's market, and depending on when it gets started, how much we spend in this fiscal year will be appropriated for next year's funds.
Okay.
Correct, we'll just carry over the parking that we put in this year over to next year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And since you're up here, the staffing is being changed from 0.8 to 1.2.
Correct,
And I remember we talked about that before, increasing your time
right,
on that, and I think, and increasing the service worker time.
correct. The service worker, currently we share the service worker at a quarter time between Public Works and a quarter time for CRA. You'd be increasing the full-time overall with half for CRA and half for Public Works. That would be increasing from half-time to three-quarters.
And that 3/4 times, even though it shows 0.70, 0.5 of your time is showing up into the farmer's market.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions for CRA?
Not on, for me, not on the CRA. I do have questions on the farmer's market. Any questions on the CRA? No. Okay. On the farmer's market, All right, we're showing 2,984 in salaries.
Correct.
That is not gonna come out of the farmer's market monies that they make. Is that correct?
No, it would come out of it,
Uh.
the revenues. The 25% that we get
Mm-hmm.
would come out of that.
That, our 25%,
Our
we're not,
25%.
okay.
Correct.
We're not gonna eat into what
No.
they expect to
No,
make.
No. It's the 25% that the city gets.
Okay. And in the past, with that 25% that we got went somewhere else?
In the past, the 25%, yes, it went to, whatever they spent on advertising or whatever, because they got 75% and spent 25 to do whatever they wanted to do based on how much revenues they had. They would spend the 25% on music. If they had live music out there, they have an annual contract for music. I'm trying to think what else they have. But that's what that was spent on, and Amanda's taken and changed that.
Right, so CRA would assume some of those responsibilities, like marketing. We would be coordinating to provide some entertainment down there. So what would happen is, if you look at the next one, their marketing goes down. And this is after speaking with both managers, that they agreed to decrease their promotional activities and their advertising, and I would coordinate those for them.
Okay, and then my other question I have is, you know, in the past, we've put up front $20,000. At this point, we're putting in just basically $12,000 up front. Now, I assume then, and that was sort of a wash, and that idea was a wash, that we would put $20,000 in over the course of the year. They would bring in that money to pay us back for that $20,000, basically. I want to know, though, that part of it is not going to change, even though we're only putting in $12,000, that they still have the ability to make that much money, and we'll put that money in there if it's required, if it's needed.
The way their contract reads, it doesn't have a dollar amount. It doesn't have like the 20,000. What it says is they get 75% of the revenues. So if they make 50,000 in revenues, they get 75%. So we didn't put a dollar figure in, because then it would hold them to a certain thing or a certain amount. And then if they didn't make it, the way the contract reads, it's based on what they make. They get 75% of that.
There's an incentive for them to make more.
Correct.
Right, I understand that, and I don't want, you know, I believe it should be okay the way you're doing it right now, because my concern was, you know, if they start out the beginning of the year without any money, they've got to spend money on advertising and whatever those little things that they do to get going. So I wanted to make sure that there's, you know, and that's one reason why there was $20,000 put in the beginning, whatever, or money put in at the beginning of the fiscal year. And I just want to make sure that there's money in there for them to be able to just get their startup going, is what it is. Yeah. Because
yeah, I mean, they've
okay.
always been, and I think actually now that this will be going into their third year, they're kind of past the startup part of it.
Yes.
Well, no, because I think they start every year without any money.
Well,
You know.
that part, but they have some already, a lot already in place.
Okay.
That it's just kind of renewing stuff, and we go ahead and do that.
All right. Okay.
I mean, they went basically in the hole last year.
I know, and
without-
that's like the first time that they've gone in the hole that I know of, anyway. The only other thing concern I have about this, and that is the agreement that we have right now with them, which is a 2-year agreement, because what we're doing now does not conform with what the agreement says.
Actually, we're not changing the agreement.
I know, but I'm just saying, because when it talks about managers,
Right.
all right, we're bringing you in into this equation.
Right,
And
but I'm
the
not
agreement-
the manager.
All right. Okay, but they're going to be reporting to you, basically, as I understand it.
No, as far as the day-to-day operations, they will not be reporting. What they'll be reporting to me is their financials.
Okay,
And I'll be assisting them with, their marketing. But the day-to-day operations, they will be doing all of that.
all right,
So, right now, the way that they do finances, there is no, reporting. They just say, this is what we received and this is what we spent, but there's no record keeping whatsoever of like, how many vendors did they have, how does that change?
and I
from
assume
month
you'll
to
be
month?
creating forms for them
Correct.
to do that then?
Correct,
and
and we've
then-
already worked on that and started creating.
Okay, and then instead of this says the finance director going to the finance director, they're gonna be coming to you?
Correct.
Okay,
Then we need,
that's,
the contract needs to be changed. As far as what the
That one
contract
piece.
says, it says,
okay, okay. Commissioner Evans?
It doesn't really involve the budget, but since if we are gonna be changing their contract, I would like some talk about going over it with them, because I know the Rotary Club had problems with them when the car show came to town, and then I know the Chamber of Commerce had problems with them, the way they ran things when we had Pioneer Day. I do think there needs to be some type of oversight when there's another group that's permitted and has permission to do it, that they're not just piggybacking on somebody else and causing a hindrance to their event, and
Well-
they've been doing that.
I will have to say, because I got in the middle of the group, and I really didn't see a problem. I knew there was a perceived problem, but really when it went off the Chamber of Commerce, I'm sorry, the farmer's market had so few people there, there wasn't seemed to be a draw from one event to the other.
Yeah, and I can tell you that from what I understand is, the contract specifically says they can do the Pioneer Day, but they have indicated that they don't have a problem with not doing the Pioneer Days, so,
I just think there needs to be some type of clause in the contract that if there's another group that has already gotten permission from the city to have an event, they kind of need to get permission from that group before they schedule a farmer's market.
Okay, any other questions?
There will be a disruption with the farmer's market when we do the construction.
Do we know where they'll be, end up?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put them just on the other side where the track used to be.
Oh, I see,
And it'll probably only be for a 3-month period. But,
okay,
that area is still open, since there's no tracks or anything, it'll work.
that'll probably also be during their busiest time, too. Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Manager?
Talk for another few minutes? No.
No. And I don't see anyone in the audience that would like to say anything, since there's no one else here from this other than city staff.
Amanda's our audience.
Well, I said city staff, okay, I said other than city staff.
I like having an audience.
All right, with that, yes, sir.
This was easy. The next ones will be more difficult.
Sure,
Right,
I
okay.
would-
What is on the next one, Mr. Booth, do we
It'll
know?
be the fire, police, and try to get all of it up.
no,
And I'm trying to, huh?
they're saying no.
No, I'm sorry. Public Works, police, the fire I wanna keep last. The
Okay.
reason I wanna do that is I'm waiting for a reply from the county on the request for a few more dollars.
Right.
We're doing our side, the county really needs to do their side, so we put that $4 million in there. And not rob us, really, everything we do,
Okay.
just put the fourth man and let the county get away with it.
Okay. All right, any questions in general about in the budget workshop that we're here for? No?
the customer service, do you mind if we put it in the city clerk, since that's kind of HR?
Sure, that's
Sure.
absolutely right.
That's
Right.
fine.
We can do that.
Commissioner Williams?
The only thing at the daycare center, we need to look at the roof on the walk.
We'll do that.
The breezeway is rotting,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, on the side.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they replaced that,
Yeah, I don't know.
what happened?
I don't know. Maybe you need to
Flashing or something on it?
flash in there, some kind of way to make it.
Yeah, next
Yeah.
week I'll take, or the week after, I'll take Public Works and we'll go take a hard look at everything.
Okay,
I might get a plumber to go over with us too,
Yeah,
which would
Yeah.
be Scott.
that the bathroom is
The plumbing, I think, is the problem. in that
50
Yeah.
years, probably
Plumbing
over
is a real
50 years old.
Okay, all right, anything else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting's adjourned at 7:17 PM.